Pants done up. Here we go. Oh gosh. Okay, preparing to stream, live stream the meeting. Should go start soon. Redirecting.
Chris, can you see it? The YouTube? What?
All right, I'm just watching myself because there's a delay. So anyways, hey, here we go. We're on. I think we're on. So hey everyone, it's Jeff and Carmen here. If you only knew what we just went through to try to get this on live. Anyways, if you were patient enough to stick around, or maybe you're just jumping in with us now, we apologize. It's now 8:17. We spent the last 15 minutes trying to figure out why Zoom is not redirecting us, but here we are. Hey, we're here. And this is Carmen. Have you met Carmen, everyone? This is good
hello, everybody.
Of mine. Yes, please say hi, Carm. Carmen has been our Switch student pastor for the past, we were just talking 17 years.
That's got to be a typo.
You're a youth pastor. You're not supposed to stick around that long. That's incredible. You know, Carmen and I, we go back a long time. We go back to when we were kids in school, and and this has been a great ride. I was excited, Carmen, to be able to get you on because you've been doing a ton of stuff for students throughout the pandemic. So I wanted to be able to talk to you a little bit about it. But you know what? For those that maybe there's a lot of people that have never met you, don't know who you are, don't know the kind of stuff that you're into. And maybe before we jump into talking about all the student stuff at Friends Church, we should get to know you a little bit. Why don't we start by just you introducing, talking a little bit about your family and what goes on in the Cowcut household.
I have been married for 25 years. Got two boys, one 22, one 20, and still at home. We are actually enjoying each other's company quite a bit during the pandemic. My youngest is away for the entire thing so far, so we're missing him a little bit, but we have we enjoy spending time together. We love being outside, whether that's we do a lot of bonfires in the backyard, camping. If there's an adventure, that's kind of our gig.
And lots of laughing
over stuff. We laugh nonstop. We're kind of working on an outdoor mouse infiltration right now, so that adds quite a few laughs during the day, just checking and seeing how many critters we've added to our body count.
Are you setting traps, or should I be asking?
No, I mean, I'd love to just set them free, but they know where their home is. They're coming back.
They smell the good food at the Cowcut house.
Exactly. We think, are we attracting them? We're like, there's filet mignon in the traps, and like mice coming from everywhere. They probably weren't here beforehand. For me, like we love sports and just being active. A lot of positive energy around here, and self-development in our family. We spend a lot of time focusing on that, and so for us, this pandemic's been an awesome opportunity to put some of that stuff to work and put our money where our mouth is. So it's been cool to watch the different areas that we've been working on and trying to grow in, and seeing how much it actually has positively impacted our ability to cope through this time. So that's been super cool. I love golf, surfing.
So folks, you can see why this guy's a shoe-in natural working with youth and students. Man, I tell you, my boys have just worshiped the ground that you walk on, Carmen, and I know that they're not unique in that matter. You're passions and your skill sets and everything have lined up, I mean, pretty amazingly. In my mind, there's no, not even a bit of wondering why you've lasted 17 years. And I think, man, you have been created perfectly for what you do, and you just keep getting better at it. That's my personal take on that. I think you probably wouldn't disagree, would you?
No, I mean, I feel extremely honored. I mean, almost my entire youth ministry. I mean, I've volunteered in different youth programs growing up, but the entirety of my youth ministry and mentorship with teens has been at Friends Church. And I attribute the length of my ability to stay in this position to the freedom and the unique expression of our spirituality at Friends Church, and that being excited about the spiritual journey and about working with teens. And I consider it a complete honor to be able to get up. You know, I look back over 17 years and can't remember a morning I didn't want to get up and go to work. Like, that's just unheard of. You know, like I never underestimate the value of that in my life. So,
well, it's evident in the group and the life of the kids that are involved. It's awesome. Which is why I wanted you to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on. Let's start with just talking about your overall observations of how kids are doing in this pandemic. Like, I mean, this started a while back with them kind of being sent home. So number one, they're not going to school. How is this affecting kids? What are your observations so far?
You know, it's interesting. Like, there's just like any group, there's going to be kids who,
overall observations of how kids.
If you're an introvert, like you may be loving this, right? You're not being forced to go out and socialize. If you don't want to jump on a Zoom call, you don't jump on a Zoom call. You do it for school, but it's pretty removed. So you're not having to have this ton of interaction. So for certain personality types, they may actually thrive in this.
That's
for
a
the
great
ones
point.
who are high, you know, love being with their friends, super social. It's a bit of a, like, it really feels like being put in prison, you know. Like, I mean, I haven't been in prison, so I can't directly say that's exactly what it feels like, but I would assume you know, for me, that's what it feels like. I have a hard time sitting still and being alone, and that's something that, you know, as we have conversations, the kids who you can tell are really dying to get out and be social are the ones, I think, most likely showing up for the Zoom calls that we host, right? And so I do call and kind of check in on all the teens, see how they're doing. It's one of those things, like phone calls, being on the phone is not a mode of communication that teens nowadays are.
Well, I mean, who likes getting on the phone and making phone calls these days? Like, it is getting harder and harder.
Everything's text or social media, but like, even like half of our group is too young to actually have their own social media accounts. The other half is, you know, they're more on Instagram, Snapchat. They're not on Facebook so much. So, you know, they're scattered everywhere. And so you're trying to
find the right medium to
reach them, but you don't know exactly where, you know, who you're necessarily connecting with, or who is hearing what and just choosing to watch versus engage. Right. So it's a constant learning, but
you guys have been active. Like, during the pandemic, you have been connecting a ton with them. So has it been predominantly through some of these social media outlets like Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram?
Yeah, like, we post to Instagram and Instagram story. We post to Facebook. We created a private Switch Facebook group for this, kind of for the pandemic. So we have, we're posting workouts in there and recipes and like anything we're doing, or when we're going to be hosting our Zoom calls, it all goes into there so that people can kind of see and choose to engage. That we have, we've done art classes, we've done like a drawing class and a painting, and we've done workouts and yoga sessions. We had one of our leaders works out at a farm, so she took us through like an hour tutorial on literally caring from a horse, from how to approach it to how to tell if they're not doing well, from their coat to cutting their hooves.
Was this
so it was all on Zoom?
A live Zoom kind of thing,
Yeah,
or just a recorded
no,
thing,
live.
or come
So we could
on,
ask questions, and they
get
were at the
out.
farm shooting it
We're,
from there.
and
Um,
kids were listening in and watching it and kind of asking questions while that was
yeah,
all happening.
yeah, totally. So they're all interactive. Even like so
So you
Thursday
did
night,
yoga
we
class,
did.
like all together?
One of my leaders has taken our yoga instructor. One of my leaders is a fitness instructor. We've got one of our leaders who's a chef. So we baked cookies together. So he walked us through the ingredients. Everyone like kind of got to after the course of an hour, everyone had cookies sitting in front of them. And Thursday night,
Come
we're making mini donuts.
on.
So
So everyone's cooking at the same time, or
yeah,
he is and they're just watching?
he's walking us all through it. We say, hey, Thursday night, you need these ingredients or these colors of paints with this kind of a brush, or like we just tee them up for whatever they need. And then
What a great
we,
idea.
so
It's like,
once a week we do a topic
yeah.
and we'll discuss something. And then once a week we do something that's just more creative or active. Our mandate hasn't changed from pre-COVID to now, and that's helping teens thrive and make a difference in their world. And so we're always looking at ways at like, what are the skill sets that are going to help them thrive? Hey, being able to cook is, an important thing. Staying healthy is important. Being in relationship, being able to communicate. So even in the midst of a call, like if we're in a discussion, asking every person, if someone's not comfortable to answer, they can say pass, but making sure that everyone knows that we value their opinion and that it's just like when we're at Switch, this is a safe place. You can share what you think about this and we care what you think about it. It's not.
So I'm curious, like with, obviously you're very aware that some kids in your group are more introverted, some are extroverted. How has this new Zoom reality, has it leveled the playing field? Do you find the introverts are as interactive as the extroverts? Is it, can you
No,
tell the
like
difference?
you can tell, like they'll sit there on the screen and if they're not directly asked, they're happy to you can just read their facial expressions, like they're liking hearing what other people are saying, but they're not feeling the need to share their opinion unless they're specifically asking, like, hey, I'd love to know what you think about this. And and they at the same time they could still say, hey, pass. Like I'd rather not answer. Hey, yeah, no worries, and then
Right.
kind of on to the next person. But it's trying to make sure that no one person capitalizes the whole conversation, that everyone is valued, they're showing up, like we want to make sure that they're seen and able to. We always take a little bit of time just to celebrate whatever's going on. One of the guys just got his learners, so we're like, hey, like, tried a couple times and we're like, you got this, and others kids stepping up saying, hey, I'll help you practice. Or so even
Come
in the
on.
midst of that, just being able to support each other and have some laughs, and we try to make them enjoyable, and at the same time we try to ask some of the questions. Like even today we were just talking about, like, what is something that brings joy to your day? What are you doing in the midst of, or what does your routine look like,
Mm-hmm.
or how are you in the midst of a time when we all really focus on ourselves, and that's kind of that survival instinct kicks in, and we, like, I got to get through this, so I become the center of my universe. How do we take that and shift our focus onto others, and see how we can continue to make a difference, right? So
Yeah.
even whether it's writing notes and dropping them off around the neighborhood, or everyone leaving their Zoom call and giving their parents a hug and telling them they love them, or like just kind
Fantastic.
of being really intentional with our time and saying we value you guys showing up. We don't connect as often as we're connecting now. We connect every 2 weeks for a longer period of time, but right now we're connecting twice a week, every week, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we're not preparing a sermon or something every session. We're just coming in with discussion topics and or activities, and kind of trying to balance that.
Yeah. Hey, Krista, good to see you. Oh,
Chris
she
just
can't
saying
hear.
hi.
Curious, how are teens feeling about the pandemic? Is there as much fear in them as maybe we see in a lot of people in kind of the adult population?
I don't know if fear is the right emotion to describe what they're feeling. I think more so it would be frustration, with feeling like your rights are taken away, right? Like,
Mm.
just
Like
being
the real
confined,
risks aren't really like, that's not what's top of their mind. They're
I
just the
don't think
fact
so.
that they're
That's,
just locked down.
yeah, that's not the sense that I've got. Obviously there's anxiety is something that is high with teens and adults, but um, definitely people who have high anxiety, this hasn't helped,
Right.
right? And so, and often people with high anxiety, they're not going to reach out, they're going to go inward, and so it's kind of looking for opportunities to connect and draw people out when they feel like, helping them know that they're not alone in the midst of a time when it can feel really lonely. Even just trying to process, like, what does this all mean? Oh,
Yeah.
now I've got to get my schoolwork. What does that mean for school? And not
Right.
having a grad, and like all the
Right.
questions they're asking. It's more like, what is the one of the questions we talk about? Like, what's the loss that you feel the most? Like, what is the
Hmm.
thing that's been taken away that you kind of grieve, that
Yeah.
you're going to have to process, that this is going to have an impact, and you're going to have to realize that.
I'm wondering if you're noticing the tensions between parents and kids. Are they talking about that stuff? Like, is this amp that up?
We at least within the group that we're meeting with regularly, we're kind of pushing them to look at that differently. I think anytime you're with someone nonstop, you run the potential just to get under each other's skin,
Oh,
but just saying,
100%.
hey, like, help your parents by communicating, like, I need some time, like, just go to my room, or like. But for what we're hearing, the teens are actually quite enjoying the time that they're getting to spend with their parents.
Fantastic.
There's always exceptions to that, and some of them parents are still working, and the kids are kind of fending for themselves a little bit. But
Like, I can
they've a
see.
lot of them been saying, hey, like, it's pretty cool having my mom and dad around, or we don't get that level of connectedness, and if we could look at it as an opportunity to spend time with the people closest to us versus like
Yeah.
death sentence.
Right. Right. For those out there that maybe are struggling, and I'm thinking about the parents that might be watching this even tonight,
Yeah,
or eventually watching this video on YouTube and kind of frustrated, maybe at their wits' end, just going, man, I tell you, it's like the home has become a bit of a war zone. Do you have any advice that you would want to give to parents right now who maybe have these teenagers in their house and are maybe kind of, you know, the thing is worn out now and they're maybe just really fatigued of the whole situation? Can you throw
yeah.
out a bone to any of them?
Well, I think we're all going to go through seasons of fatigue, and that idea of like, I have to spend another day with my kid versus I get to spend a day with my kid is a mental shift that we all have to make. Like, we have the opportunity to make.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but even when it comes to, like, your kids have school and they've got homework, and it's tough slugging to get them to do it sometimes, right? You're like, now I'm their teacher, I'm their parent, I'm a disciplinary, I'm supposed to be their buddy. Like, we're putting on all these hats that we haven't had to necessarily spend as much time doing in the past. And so giving them options, even saying, like, whether it's younger kids or older kids, saying, hey, like, we know you've got this and this course that have to get done today or by Wednesday. When would you like to do them? Versus saying, you need to sit down and do your homework right now. Like, we have time is one of the things on our side right now, but like giving them some responsibility, helping them, letting them to make some decisions, giving them, like, everything else has been taken away. And so giving them a sense of control in their own life is really important, while still ensuring that the things that need to get done.
Yeah.
Um,
That in of
Incorporating
itself
some,
can be it can be an art form, just being able to
totally.
give your kid some kind of job or responsibility and trust without over managing it, or criticizing anything that they're doing. It's not being done the way that you'd expect it, whatever. I've always admired parents that do that so well, that just give their kids some reins and let them run with something in the home.
Yeah. Exercise. Like, even if it's just something short together as a family, whether it's going for a walk or like doing some jumping jacks or something, like just something that stimulates the body and the brain. It completely changes our physiology, and it's not
Mhm.
like that's made up. It literally changes the way that you are and the way that you act. And so teeing ourselves up for success, staying healthy through a time when it's easy to sit on a couch and game all day, like,
Mhm.
but hey, let's get up and you know what, you like, we're all taking a 15-minute break, we're going to do something, and you choose, like, if you want that 15-minute break in 15 minutes because you want to finish your game, cool. Like, the worst thing when my mom always be like, supper time, 3 minutes left in a show. This is before we had PVRs and stuff. You're like, I watched 27 minutes, I'm gonna miss the last three because supper's now. So it's kind of that feeling, right? Like, you're like
Yeah.
giving
So
them
you're
some,
saying give them a little bit of warning,
yeah,
and don't make it like, run it like a tyranny. Just,
yeah, like, guys,
yeah,
every day we're gonna do a 15-minute workout.
give them the warning
Like,
ahead of time.
give
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
what time would you like it to be tomorrow?
Yeah. Right.
And like, do something, get active,
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
break, like, create some time for fun, play some games, play some, like, have some good conversations. You ask the right questions, you're going to learn a lot about your kids, and your kids are going to learn a lot about you. So just
Hmm.
take some time just to tell stories, right? Like, I think there's never a shortage of things we can learn about the people around us. It's just we so often just stay, how was your day?
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So
And
true.
so I think there's this opportunity where we may never be in each other's company this much again in history. And so going, like, I want to come out of this
Don't.
knowing that I've grown, I'm closer with the people in my life, and I've still got closer to the goals that I want to achieve, right?
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not like I just wasted 3 months and it was like, oh, I wish like, oh, I wanted to be a good basketball player. Well, you could have been dribbling a basketball the whole time, but now you're like, now you're starting at that point. Like, no,
Sure.
keep moving towards the things that you love. Try new things, like, buy 4 canvases down at Dollarama and get a few paints. For $20 you can do a family paint night and throw something on YouTube, do a Bob Ross or something where it doesn't have to be good. It's just
I've
like
seen some of
fun.
your famous Switch Bob Ross
Yeah, totally.
products that have come out of those youth nights. These are such great ideas, Carmen. I appreciate you being willing to drop in and just share some of the wisdom that you got going on, that you're putting to work within the lives of our kids. It's awesome.
Hey,
Hey,
glad to
look
be
at
here. And if there's
if
parents out there and
yeah,
your kids are, a part of Switch, and they haven't been on a Zoom call, we're doing Tuesday afternoons at 3 and Thursday nights at 7. And the links are in our Instagram, switch_youth_crew, on our Facebook page.
I think if
Emails
they
go
go
out
to
to
the
parents.
okay, okay.
We'll get it probably on the website. I think they're on there as well.
Yeah, I think they're on the app too. If I'm well, they can link straight to your Facebook page on the app as well
Yeah.
if they go to Switch. So if they want to email you, they can reach you at carmen@friendschurch.ca.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Give me a
Strike up
call
a
on my
conversation.
phone.
Carmen's got lots of ideas to get you guys busy with your kids. So make
Yeah, I'm happy
use of
just to
that.
engage with parents. I love
Yeah.
chatting with parents and seeing how getting your perspective. My kids are a little bit older now, so but I've been where you are, and so love to just chat, pick your brain, see how you guys are doing. If there's anything I can do to support you as parents, I'm here for that. And if you have teens who you think would enjoy what we're doing, we would love to have you send them our direction. And
Right
that's
on.
grades 6 to 12.
There you have it, folks. Check out Switch. You can reach him, like I said, on our Facebook page. You can get through to Switch on our app. It's all the information is there. So download that. Thanks, Carm.
Cool.
Been
Yeah.
great
Thanks for having
connecting.
me on. Have a
Yeah,
good
you
one.
got it. Have a good one too. We'll chat with you soon.
Is there any questions in the
chat?
either on Facebook Live, or is there a chat on
look
YouTube?
at this. So Stace says Cohen loves the Switch events. Let's hear from you parents out there. Man,
Cohen's awesome. He's hilarious. He's at so many of the things.
He's our gentle giant. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it when I see kids with bells on. Can't miss any events that are happening. I'm sure they're hating life, the fact that there haven't been any physical events to be able to come to, but Hopefully it
Well,
won't
and
be
when
long.
as soon as we're allowed, we will be pulling something together. So
Right on.
we're just as excited for it as they are. We miss seeing all their faces and having that interaction. So
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We're glad you were a part of this. The technical difficulties never cease to amaze me on this live YouTube channel. So anyways, we were able to overcome it. We'll be back next week, hopefully with a little bit of a more of a seamless evening. So join us next week for Lobby Talk at 8 p.m. Hey, look at this coming week. We have, I'm over here. There we go. We have the second part of our adulting spirituality, adulting spiritually series going on. Vince just kicked off last week. So I'm heading up, talking about kind of stage 3 of the journey. You won't want to miss that either. So good. We'll see you guys next week. See you, Carm.
later.